Hello and welcome to ASTROMINGLE, the spiritual podcast that mingles with the talented lightworkers and the innovative influencers of our time. What happens when ancient dowsing rods meet modern social media? One spiritual practitioner has captivated millions of TikTok users by using simple metal rods to communicate with spirit guides and answer life's biggest questions. From relationship advice to predictions about humanity's future, her viral videos have turned dowsing into a global phenomenon. Today, we sit down with the woman behind that movement that's got everyone asking, what do the spirits really want us to know? We'll be right back after this.
Hello, I'm Sanandra, founder of CT Organics. We are celebrating our 30th year anniversary as a small business with simple, clean, organic skin and hair care made with love. To celebrate our 30-year anniversary, enter code word JOY30 at checkout and you'll receive 30% off any individual CT skin and hair care product.
Happy anniversary, CG!
Aloha! I'm Mary, and I'm inviting you to experience the mystical world of the tarot with me. As a tree-hugging dirt worshiper, a retired wildlife biologist, and a sprite of the forest, my readings take you into the realms of elemental creativity to unearth a deeper awareness for those big decisions that you have in life. The first 50 viewers to email me with the coupon code below and book a reading will receive 50% off that reading. I can't wait to see what the cards have in store for you. Mahalo nui loa.
Today, we're joined by Meghan, the viral sensation behind Solar Glow Meditations, who's taken TikTok by storm as the Dowsing Rod Girl. With millions of views, Meghan uses dowsing rods to communicate with spirit guides and answer life's biggest questions. From her home in the Northwest Pacific, this lifelong meditator combines dowsing with Reiki energy, healing and meditation guidance, offering her audience authentic insights into love, humanity, and what lies ahead for our world. Please welcome Step 18 Taurus, Meghan of Solar Glow Meditations.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for your hard work. We both are Step 18 Tauruses, I was saying just prior to the show, and I know that we just on the mission and we're on it, are we not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. And how much time do you spend actually recording per se? So
On a weekly basis, I probably spend a couple hours recording, but the secret is I actually still work a full-time job, so this is really like my third life.
Wow, yeah. Well, congratulations. Your third life's doing very well.
Thank you.
I've read that you fell into dowsing by accident. Can you walk us through what actually happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So my mother-in-law is a Reiki practitioner, and I had no idea what that was. So one day she asked me, "Hey, do you want to be Reiki attuned?" And I said, "Sure," having no idea what I was in for. And it actually led to like this Kundalini awakening, and I felt this energy through my whole body. And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, I need to go figure out what this is because I'm clearly missing something here." And here we are.
Wow, interesting. And it obviously it took on. Do you feel, by the way, do you feel the Reiki coming through you? I'm just curious as a Reiki. Yeah. Hmm.
Yep.
Is it-
I tend to actually do like most of the spiritual work like with my whole body. So I see, I hear, feeling, knowing. Those are all my strong suits.
You said you've been meditating your whole life, which is commendable, by the way. But when did you
Yes.
realize you had this deeper connection to spiritual guidance?
Uh, I guess I've sort of always known.
Mm.
I've had deja vu my whole life. I've just known things were gonna happen and then they did, but I never like knew. It wasn't really until like this Reiki experience that I was like, oh, there's a lot going on here.
Hmm. I imagine you. I mean, I imagine you're learning as you go too. You know, it's interesting. The whole spirit world has been so clouded for us as humans. Before the dowsing rods, were you connected with another spiritual practice?
Nope, not at all. I mean, meditation certainly, but that's like in the form of walking, gardening, doing dishes or whatever. It was never something like so intentional. It was just like, okay, I'm living life kind of ignoring the fact that there's anything more going on.
Yeah, totally understand. Now, some people don't understand what dowsing is. For someone who doesn't know dowsing or seen it before, can you explain how do the rods actually work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess just to start with, the rods. They're shaped like an L. They have a little tube on the handle here. And what you do is you hold them and they kind of swing around freely. So I'm not like doing anything with my hand. Like if I try to move them, it doesn't work that way.
Mm,
And then it's basically, some folks will call it the ideometer effect. I think it's something a little bit more than that, but my
mm.
hands are being moved by spirit as I'm asking these questions.
Hmm. Wow. So your hands and they're removed too. Is there a ritual or preparation that you do before you start asking questions, or just pick up the rods and go?
I tend to just play with the rods and go. You can always meditate, get into the kind of headspace of that. I tend to be a little more impatient, so I just pick up and go. But some folks will add ritual to it. Sometimes you can do crystals, candles, whatever suits you. It's really
Hmm.
like open ended. There's nothing like specific you have to do.
Hmm. Do you feel like I know when I channel for readings and stuff, there's like a certain sort of vibe or I don't know how to describe it. It's like a vibe that's on inside of me. Do you have a certain channel vibe that you feel?
Yes. A lot of folks have noticed that I tend to look up, and that's like me getting into this headspace. It's not quite like the same as just being here in my body now. Like there's something else I'm connecting to, and I just go there instantly.
Hmm. Have there been times when the rods just didn't talk to you or work, and you couldn't get an answer? And what happened if that's the case? What happens?
Yeah, sometimes they won't answer me, especially if like I'm doing a reading for somebody and they're not meant to know, they'll just not tell me.
Mm,
Especially early on when I was starting to get into this, I would ask questions and sometimes they wouldn't work. Sometimes you're a little too stiff, like whatever it may be. That's
mhm.
absolutely normal.
Do you feel any spirit on the other side? Like, do you feel the energy of the spirit holding back or whatnot? Like to know that the client's not meant to know. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like usually it feels like getting really stiff and sometimes I'll like try and shake it out, see if it's like my body just not wanting to move, but most of the time it'll just be really stiff.
Yeah, very interesting. Stiff's a good word for it, actually, because in readings too, they'll be kind of like a nope. You can't tell them that. I feel the same. Have you've mentioned your Black Dragon guide? How did you first become aware of this presence in your life?
That was actually an accident too. I was a guest on another podcast and they were asking about dragons and I was like, I have no idea. So we started asking about it and I was like, oh, I have two black dragon spirit guides.
Oh,
That was pretty
interesting.
cool. Yeah.
And do you have other guides that work with you, or that you work with in addition to the dragons?
Yes. So when I like post videos and things like that, usually it changes who comes through. Sometimes it depends on which questions I'm asking about. It might be the spirit that's relevant to those questions. If it's not, I tend to work most frequently with archangels.
Oh,
Archangel Michael is kind of my go-to guy.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you worked with him before?
I have. He comes in now and then. For myself, Metatron is big and Ratziel is big, but Metatron is really the heavy for me, like really heavy. Mike seems to come in with like a lot of women. I've noticed. Like I think he likes the women. He doesn't have the men that
Notice
very
that
much.
too. And Metatron is like just such a big energy, right?
Metatron comes in like you just ate a pot roast. Like he's just so heavy, and so like no like a Virgo that doesn't want to tell a joke. So it feels like it's very, very solid and commanding is what it feels like. Like he doesn't have a sense of humor. That's what it feels like. I don't know. Yeah. What does Michael feel like?
To me, he's hilarious. Like he can have that really overbearing presence, but most of the time he's like, I want to say like as much as an archangel can have an ego, like he would be the guy with an ego because he wants to come forward and sort of be in that spotlight, but then also just
Mm.
play.
Yeah, he seems like the one angel that would probably be like a top model or something. Like
Yeah.
doesn't he? He's got a vibe to him that's like kind of a I don't know. Yeah, Tom Cruise kind of energy. Like he's this flashbill's going off. Yeah, it's interesting.
There
Do you?
was one time I asked him to like come forward and he showed up and like in my mind's eye he was completely naked. I was like, "What are you
Oh my
doing?"
God, really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Wow, that's funny. So
He's
yeah, that's interesting. Do you usually see them in your mind's eye, or do you feel them? How the angels come?
sometimes. Most of the time I'm feeling them, but I can see them on occasion.
Right. You just kind of there's a knowing of the answer.
Yeah.
Is that yeah?
Yes.
Interesting. How do you know which guide is responding to your questions? Like how do you tell the difference?
I ask.
There you go. Yeah. Like can
Yeah.
you feel that there's someone else in the room though? I mean, like they have different vibes. Yeah.
Yes. Most of the time I tune them out, but every once in a while I'll be like, "Oh, there's somebody over there. What are you doing here?"
Yeah. And do you feel your clients' guides too come
Yes,
in?
absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah. I
And
caught
I've
up.
gotten a little bit more into like the mediumship recently too. So like when I'm talking with clients, past loved ones have started coming through as well.
Ah, interesting. Do they have a distinct vibration difference too? The ones who passed on?
Yeah, it feels like the archangels for me at least are a lot easier to connect to, but like the past loved ones, it's like a different vibration to kind of find where they're at, and so it's not as strong coming through, but we're getting there.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you find that the past life people are a little more scattered? Like, or
Sometimes.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like, not complete sentences kind of thing. Like, the signal's not coming through. I don't know. I was just wondering. 218s. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just compare notes. When you're asking questions, does it feel like a conversation you're having, or is it more methodical, like just receiving a download or receiving an article?
It's become more conversational. Like at first it seemed like there were a lot of downloads, but like as time's gone on, definitely more of a conversation.
Hmm. And do you find that conversations pick up and get put down again? Like there's this ongoing conversation with you and your guides. It has nothing to do with the people you're in front of. Like they're giving you some sort of a tour. They're giving you some sort of a arc of something.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they yell at me a lot too. And like I say this very playfully, but they're trying to communicate with me, but I'm often like so focused in my body during the day that I kind of ignore signs that are coming through. And so
Oh,
actually, even like a week ago, I was flying to Virginia, but I had accidentally booked my flight to go to North Carolina, and they had been trying to tell me for 2 weeks, and I just kept ignoring them. I
wow.
did manage to get there on time. There was a flight, so all was good. But yeah, they had been telling me.
Okay. So you're stirring a ruckus up there. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. So it seems like you're just out of touch and you're wandering around. They're like screaming at you.
Yeah.
Um, what do you find that most people ask when it comes to questions and when you explore with the rods? Like, where are people's hearts most of the time?
It kind of depends on where they're coming from. Past loved ones, grief, that's often a question,
Mm,
especially coming forward. Pets also. If it's not about that, usually it's like what's happening with like our country or what's happening with my job, career, love life, that kind of stuff.
hmm. People ask about the country, huh? I'm kind of. Is there an overall theme? Like, are they non-political? Your guides?
Uh, the guides are willing to get political. Like we have political conversations quite frequently, but one of the challenges, I'm sure you've maybe encountered this as well, but trying to predict the future can be very challenging because it changes so frequently. We have free will, so make a different decision and now we have a different outcome. And I think that's really hard when folks are especially new to the spiritual space to sort of understand that. And so there's a lot of, hey, you are wrong. Maybe, but it's also changed perhaps from the time I asked to when it actually happened. And so having that conversation on the internet has been a challenge.
Yes, it is. When people are heated too, right?
Yeah,
So when you're a messenger, sometimes it's assumed you take one side or another, when really you're just being a messenger, right? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
It's hard for us. I understand completely. Are there questions that your guides are like, no, just cannot ask about? Like, is there any, taboo question or anything off permission to do?
No, when I do like my content, I try and keep away from like fearful topics. Like if somebody asks me if there's going to be a earthquake in California, yes, at some point there will be, but I don't want to go and try and figure out what that date is because I don't want to cause unnecessary disruption to folks' lives.
Hmm.
Um, and then death dates are the other one I try to stay away from. Like, do you really need to know?
Yeah. Well, have you ever had a point where you're kind of put on the spot and you had to make that judgment call about, like, give us an example if you can, because that's a toughie.
Yeah, I actually had one client that was asking me about their child because a psychic
Mm.
had told them that their child was going to pass while they were young. I
Ugh.
was like, that's a really heavy message to deliver and a really scary thing to kind of carry with you. And so I went and asked about it, and I got a completely different message from what the other psychic had said. And so I think it brought some relief to the client, hopefully, because, yeah, it's a really tough subject to kind of cover.
I think the first one was, I don't know. I've never been asked to say anything like that, to a
Really?
client. I mean, not that someone's going to die. I mean, if someone asks specifically, is my mom passing away or something, I can like look and see that I can see that there's a exit being created for that person. I mean, I'll affirm, yes, there's an exit being created or whatever, but never you know, I've never been asked that. I mean, has spirit ever had something striking like that they asked you to say?
Never that they've asked me to come forward with. It's usually a human asking the question and then spirit responding. I don't ever get like just a hey, here's this person's gonna die. Like that seems like a kind of a hard message for spirit, but maybe that's my ego talking.
Yeah. Well, I'll have like, I mean, I wonder if too, if you're ever told to not say something. Because in readings that will happen. It'll be like, they'll be a client will be asking about their current boyfriend or something. And spirit guy will be like, well, he's actually going to cheat in about a month, but don't say anything yet. Like there's like an energy where I think because I'm meant to be compassionate to the person and start laying the foundation and preparing them, but I'm not supposed to actually tell them that. Do you have that sort of insight with your guides too?
I do. I have a couple times. I don't remember any specific ones though, but yes, absolutely.
It's interesting. It's like really dealing with people, helping people.
Yeah.
Um, you know, what is the most surprising or unexpected question someone has had asked you to douse about?
My favorite on this one is well, I guess there's two. Is a what is a sushi a burrito? I think was the question.
Which to eat?
Yeah, like categorically, does sushi is it considered a burrito? I don't remember what Spirit said.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you
Yeah.
ever feel them rolling their eyes?
Sometimes,
Yeah,
occasionally, like if I ask a question a few too many times, they'll be like, "We're done answering this question. We already told you it's not changing."
that's funny. They lose patience. Yeah.
Yeah.
You recently posted about potato bugs they're extraterrestrials, and there are any other earthly creatures out there that are extraterrestrials. Have you encountered any ETs yourself?
Um, yes. So my alien encounters are a little bit different. I have
Mm,
been abducted from my spirit body, never my physical body, at least that I know
mm,
of.
mm.
But yes, there are other animals on Earth that are ETs. Octopus are the other.
Oh, that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
I heard that mushrooms are foreign too.
Mm, well, we can ask. Let's ask the rods.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. In fact, that's actually a perfect segue. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be asking Megan about some questions and seeing her dowsing skills in action. So keep streaming. We can't wait. All right, and we're back. So nice to have. We're here with Megan. She does this awesome phenomenon where she uses dowsing rods to answer questions. I'm excited to have the opportunity to ask you some questions and see what they can do for us. And I'm wondering, is there any prep or anything like that? Like, do I need to?
No, you don't need to do anything. I will figure out who we're talking to, though. We want to make sure it's somebody that we know their perspective.
Okay, you'll find out who the guide is.
Yeah. If you're with me and willing to answer questions, could you cross the rods for yes? Thank you. Could you open wide for no?
Wow,
Thank you. Could you point to your energy? Thank you. I think this is Archangel Michael. Yeah. Thank
it
you.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds nice of Michael to come. I'm wondering, may I just start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm a geek. I'm in astrology and all that stuff, and I'm wondering, is the Earth going to see a significant change to its culture and living in the next 18 months?
Yes and no. It looks like depending on where in the world you're at, that will differ. Yeah, thank you. Like here in the US, yes, most definitely. Maybe some remote island in Norway, maybe not so much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious too. Like, will we see taxes go away? Since been coming up.
No, it looks like the structure's going to change though. Have you been getting that as well?
hmm hmm
Yes.
Yeah, this is me actually following up on all my curiosities.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. So a structure change. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. What about climate change? Is it something that human beings need to be concerned about? Um,
Yes. Thank you. Some people more than others, it looks like.
mm,
Yeah, kind of depending on where you're at, it could have different sort of impacts. Whereabouts are you located? If you don't mind me asking.
oh, not at all. I'm in the desert. I'm in Palm Springs, California.
Heat. You'll get more heat. I don't
More?
see, yeah.
Hmm.
like even hotter hot days. I don't
Hmm.
see like any like major rain events in the next couple of years though. Like nothing that's like devastating or anything.
That's great. I mean, we almost had a tsunami the other day, so it kind
Would
of
that have
raises.
hit you guys?
Didn't I was protected by the Rocky Mountains, thank goodness. But there was this all of a sudden California, like there's a tsunami heading for California, and everyone, it was interesting to see how people reacted. It was really interesting. Um, I'm wondering, if the United States has a huge like governmental shift coming up, within, let's say, the next 5 years or so, structurally.
Yes. Like it's a very slow yes though. I
Mm,
guess depending on what sort of scale you're looking at, it can
mm,
maybe vary. Like if you go down into the details of a lot of the nuts and bolts, a lot of that will drastically change. But broadly speaking, not a ton. Eh,
mm, mm.
some, some, yeah. It sort of looks like uh, it just sort of like works itself out. Like it's gonna be uncomfortable in the interim, but it's gonna be okay. Is that, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems like, well, we're it's like one loop of the American Revolution as far as Pluto's concerned, and so we're like, America's 2 years old, I guess, in those ancient times. So the question is like, do we keep this structure? And it sounds like we do. It sounds like there's some changes, but we overall keep the structure we have.
Yes. Like a slow, yes, mostly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Are mushrooms an alien plant, like psychedelics?
Yes. Interesting.
Hmm.
It's like they were planted here, but then there's been like some evolution. So there's that little bit of hesitancy because of that evolution that's happened, but largely they were not native to Earth.
Hmm. I kind of just see spaceships like throwing them out to us like food, like
Yes.
like Mardi Gras or like trick or treat kind of stuff. Interesting, very interesting. Do we will human beings be able to see ascension in this lifetime? We believe that that's an inevitability, but is that something that's within reach within this lifetime? Given human beings, not all of them, of course.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Hmm. That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's like it's already happening, like very subtly, but it's happening.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm curious about that. It seems like we are awakening to our ancient times. Will human beings have access to their past lives in the future? Like when they were alive on Earth, will they be able to remember their past lives?
Yes, thank you. He's saying you can remember them now if you want to. Sometimes it just
Mhm.
requires a little bit of help with some deep meditation.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like I do, but who knows? Let some of them know. Yeah, that's very interesting. What about this current global, power structure where we have basically the cold, Russia, China, America, that type of thing? Is there an evolution past this particular, you know, tax-based financial structure of power? Do we evolve into something that is, involving less power conflict?
Yes and no.
Mm.
It looks like Russia changes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
China doesn't. China looks very similar to how it's structured now.
Hmm.
Like, it looks like there's going to be some power changes, like who's sort of running the ship, but by and large, their system doesn't change.
Hmm. Wow. Interesting.
Very. Yeah. He's saying their structure is just like so old and has been around for so long, it's sort of already withstood the test of time. Like they have issues and that will evolve, but like by and large, the overall philosophy stays the same.
Hmm. So, i- is it true that there's many cures to many diseases that simply have not been released?
Um,
I know that's a broad question, but
no, not exactly. So this looks sort of like a systemic problem. So
Hmm.
there's like the rigors of science that say you have to meet these criteria in order to be considered like a valid cure. There's a
Hmm.
lot of cures out there and people know them. They might just not be accepted by science. Either it's not been researched because the funding hasn't been there, or
Hmm.
there's kind of this like wall of like, I don't want to look at that type of thing. Um, the one that's kind of showing up now is like cancer. Certain cancers can be healed through vibration, right? And we
Hmm.
know what some of those frequencies are, but science hasn't caught up to that yet.
Right. Seems like it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. Vibrational. That's great to know. That's really great to know. Um, I guess a qualifier for the history. Was the ancient civilization of Atlantis real?
Yes. He's saying for your definition of real, yes. There was like human like folks on the planet. There was a place here. In that sense, real, yes.
Hmm. Human-like. Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so, are we living in end times now?
No, thank you. It's just a part of this cycle. Yeah. So, as above, so below, I'm sure you've heard that before. I don't know if you like that phrase or not. But
Hmm.
it's like, you know how like a plant grows and then their flower blooms and their leaves die back and then they go back into the earth to seed to kind of do the process over again.
Hmm.
We've sort of reached this like full bloom stage, and so there's going to be this kind of coming back into yourself to kind of rebloom again someday. So we're at sort of like this peak stage. So over the next thousands of years, it looks like we're kind of coming back into ourselves. And so there might be less humans, but is that, yeah, okay, yes.
Hmm.
Does that
Interesting.
make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. Yeah. It's good too. I'm glad. I've
Yeah.
always felt like it was meant to stay. I mean, I think the end times thing has been part of the fear, part of the fear-based stuff, hellfire domination, that sort of thing. Will President Trump finish out this term of his final term here?
No, thank you. Uh, Last time, so I asked about this in kind of weekly members only videos, and when I was asking about this last weekend, they were saying he will likely be gone before the end of August. Is that
Oh,
true? Yeah.
August of this year?
Yeah, like in the next month or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
Um,
health?
yes.
That's what I've seen too.
Of course, as you know, future is not set in stone. Things change
Correct.
frequently, but yeah.
The
Have
current
you
active
gotten this?
timeline. What's that?
You've gotten the same thing though?
Our team has, yeah. Some people, yes, that would be a health issue. Ultimately, that would be the cause, not anything political ousting. Hmm.
Um, yeah.
And I guess a follow-up question for that would be: that was the plan all along? Was that the plan all along? I mean, as far as spirit's concerned.
Yes and no, thank you. I, I always struggle with sort of where destiny ends and free will begins. He was not meant to ever finish out the term.
Hmm.
I'm not sure about him ever being in term. Was that kind of meant to be? Okay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. It's all I don't know if you've kind of been experiencing this too, but over the last like especially 6 months, 9 months or so, there's been a lot of like timeline jumps happening.
Yes.
Yeah, and so every time I turn around, I'm like, I wake up and oh, what's different? What's the new Mandela effect today? And every time that happens, it feels like things have shifted. And so what was meant to be and what is meant to be, like depending on when you ask, feels so nebulous. I kind of get lost in this kind of cycle of like what makes sense when.
Yeah. No. Totally. Yeah. Sometimes we feel the same way, and even with clients, like doing a reading for a client, like they will literally shift their timeline right there, like from hearing they'll ask a question, get the answer, and then you see the thing shift. Like you feel the shift right there that they just changed it right there with that exchange. So I was going to ask you that. Have you had that issue before?
I have
Okay.
no idea. That is so incredible. I want to see this someday. Like, that
Then,
sounds
then you will.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, because at first you're like, you don't know if you're making up. I mean, because everything looks like your imagination anyways, right? So, but I didn't request it, so that's kind of how I know. Yeah. Yeah, people will change their timelines right there, and then suddenly you're kind of lost and feeling, you're not quite where to go with the client from that point, right? Um, what we will extraterrestrials make themselves visible to the main population um, in the next 10 years?
He's not going to answer me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So I've asked about this before, and the answer that they've given up until just now is that like next year, the year after, like disclosure is happening. So I'm a little baffled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's something there. Mm-hmm. I wonder what that is. That's interesting, because that we've been getting the same about a year. We have some people, that who talk to aliens, channel them. So, what about Palladians? Are Palladians real?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Is it too late to reverse the damage on Earth from climate? What humans have done to the Earth?
No, not exactly. So this one's sort of interesting too, because it sort of follows this kind of like cyclical life death circle. And it feels like the climate change we've been sort of in this heating cycle that the planet sort of naturally goes through, but then humans have added this like extra layer on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of like sped up the process. So it's almost like we were going to get there eventually anyways, just the whole process is sped up. Mm. But whether or not that damage is to be reversed, no. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not, there's more there. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, though.
Mm-hmm. It's more complex, I think, than we know.
Yeah,
Is Mother Earth an actual being, a conscious being that's alive and aware?
absolutely. Yes. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it depends on her mood, honestly. I think it depends on her mood. Um, what what will humankind uh, wake up and do what's necessary to heal the climate, or will it be something that we're forced to?
They're showing me the like. Have you asked about like this mothership heading towards Earth? It's almost like Big Brother coming in and to say like stop that, and that climate part of it is them. Sorry, I lost my words. The alien mothership that's coming towards Earth, part of that um,
Mm,
thing that's going to happen with that is, hey, you need to be kinder to Earth.
mm, be nice to your planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's like all this sort of like consumerism that goes with it, but it's going to be really hard for a lot of people because so many folks like the core of who they are is this like consumerism and materialism. And to be able to like have your identity kind of taken away from you in the name of Mother Earth is going to be really hard for some folks
Hmm.
to kind of reconcile. Necessary, but it's hard.
Hmm. Interesting. This from sacrifices you're seeing the humans have to make.
Yeah. Like fast fashion, for example, we don't need to make billions of pounds of clothing just to go straight to the dump. Like that's not helping anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's hard.
Mm-hmm. Is AI something we should look at as a threat?
Not inherently, no.
Hmm.
What are you showing me? There's kind of two things going on. So of course, like there's the movie depictions of like AI becomes sentient, decides that it's better at ruling us than we are. There's certainly that potential future, but it doesn't look like it's the path we're on right now. Is that
Mm-hmm.
accurate? Yeah. I think there's also like this sense of AI right now, especially within like the artist community, is like AI is trying to replace artists, but there's sort of like this mechanicalness to it that humans kind of innately pick up on. Uh, but
Hmm.
really, we want AI to do our dishes and our laundry, and we haven't figured out how to get there yet.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, having a conversation with this, but yeah. Um, is there is humanity going to awaken this lifetime in the sense of have proof or have I'm talking about a majority proportion, like the bell curve, to where we believe in the afterlife, then we understand that we're more than one lifetime.
Yes. It looks like it takes another generation or two of folks to kind of get there, even with
Mm,
kind of disclosure happening. Yeah.
hmm.
Interesting.
Hmm. Interesting. It is interesting. Yeah. It seems like we are we going to abandon procreation? It seems like we are having less and less children. And so is the human family model changing?
The model is changing, yes, but procreation won't go away.
Good.
It just becomes less of a priority, it looks like.
Mm. Because there's a lot of, difficulty getting pregnant, and it seems like our bodies are moving away from it or something, or at least something we're consuming.
Yeah, that's part of it, but there's also sort of this like realization of like what it takes to raise kids. Like it's a lot of attention, money, and time, and people are realizing they don't want that for themselves and they have a choice.
Mm.
So it's kind of people are utilizing their choice, and that's a very good thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Will we be able to see our food supply restored to its organic nature in our lifetime? That's a strong one.
Yes and no. So
Mm.
like the damage done by like pesticides and stuff, that's not gonna be healed quickly. There's
Mm.
also sort of like this genetically modified food environment that those won't necessarily go away either. But
Mm.
there is like this kind of undercurrent of movement towards like heirloom varieties of things. Yeah.
Mm.
And so it looks like it continues to sort of be this delicate balance, but and it's shifting more towards like the unmanipulated versions of things.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. That is interesting. So, um, what about curiosity about power? It seems like we're on the verge of free power. Like it feels like there's an explosion around the corner of technology and power, where there could be free energy on the planet. Is that something that is possible in our in our lives, or are we going to always be under this pin of a few corporations? Do you feel?
No, that looks like it ties back into this whole sort of US governmental structure. There
Hmm.
is definitely fear around that becoming a thing, but the power of the people are going to make it happen. Like
Hmm.
there's enough people like collectively that have woken up and are moving towards this like better future without like the for-profit companies trying to rule the world. So
Hmm.
so yeah. It- that sort of like dynamic shift I think is going to move us towards the free power. It looks like it'll happen, but it looks like it's like a 40 or a 50-year time frame to kind of get
Hmm.
there and get it scaled.
Hmm. Hmm. But you do see a movement of what we call enlightenment. I mean, um, where people are living in their hearts in smaller based communities. I mean, do you see that the lighter side community and the cities starting to go be a different alternative?
Yeah, thank you. There's kind of this like shunning energy of like cars. Like I know in the US we're very like dependent on our cars, but people are tired of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
Need to
Right.
come up for that, but yes.
Okay. Just to make sure my crew's still got something to do. It seems like
Absolutely.
we're on this path. Yeah. That was amazing. Thank you very much. I mean, those are all great answers, and so quickly you connect. It seems like you have like a good rapport with you and Mike. You guys dating? Kidding. But like,
No. Yeah, as much as like Mike is like playful and such, it's never like romantic love. It's like this like all source power love.
yeah, totally. And have you ever felt the divine feminine versions of the angels? Like that's something that's come out recently that I haven't like I didn't know was a thing, but going to conventions and stuff, it's like Michelle is Michael's, apparently twin flame. Do you come across the females? Yeah. Okay.
I haven't met Archangel Michelle. Uriel, interesting, switches between male and female to me. Like
Hmm.
they are very androgynous looking in my mind's eye. So it depends on which video you're looking at, but
Mm. Have you seen one? And have they appeared for you, the angels?
not in physical form, but it's something I've asked for. I'm manifesting that. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Excellent.
Have you seen them?
No, I have not. But my third eye seems to know. Like, there's an image in my mind that knows what it looks like. I don't know how I know that. But they haven't appeared for me. They tend to appear for. They seem to have like very specific appearances. Like someone who's dying of cancer or something like. There's a moment that it's attributed to or whatnot. Have you? Do you see? Does your psychic awareness have visuals? Do you see past
Yes.
lives yourself? Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's never quite that physical view. I'm working on that too, but definitely my mind's eye.
Hmm. Yeah, where you see like a moment of it, or is that what you see? Like, just how do past lives come in for you? I'm just curious, or for other clients, like.
Usually it's a visual. So yeah, whatever happens to be relevant at the time will sort of pop through. Actually, when I was in Virginia last week, one of my friends asked me, "Hey, do you know where my bracelet is?" And immediately I got this picture in my brain of, yeah, it's at a double sink on the floor underneath. And so I saw the double sink in my brain, like you would imagine. So
So speaking to you in pictures,
yeah.
how long have you been? How long has it been this active for you, as far as psychic awareness? I'm just curious. For myself, like I was almost not psychic at all, like I am now, until like my late 20s, and then just like it's just been growing since then. Do you find that your abilities grow?
Yes, absolutely. So I think my spiritual awakening started around 3 years ago, maybe a little less, and it's just grown so much since then.
Yeah, Taurus is apparently too as well. Do you? Yeah, I mean we've had to grow. It's been tough. I think for us, yeah. Uh, and what about with love? Like when you see people fall in love, do you see what do you see? I mean, like what do you see between them energetically happening? Because I'll tell you what I see later, but I want to hear what you see.
Actually, usually if they're like good for each other, it just sort of flows together. The visual that I always get if people are like not doing well together is like sandpaper trying to rub together. That's how I kind of know that it's like not good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I quite often see the reason why they've been brought together, which is a learning, like a lesson,
Oh,
more than the love itself. I mean, there's always love, but a lot of it seems like I don't know if you have seen, but it seems like a lot of the relationships on the planet so far, romantic ones, have been very much learning based relationships, catching from past lives and things like that. But Spirit has shown me that there's a corner we're turning, where it's a different type of vibration of love. And I was curious if you'd seen anything like that.
interesting. You know, I always can tell if there's like a deep spiritual connection between folks because there's something like more inherently, I don't know, deep is the right word, but there
Mm.
is something different about it. I haven't quite figured out how to describe it yet, though.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like got your back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah, interesting. Have you yourself met people from past lives and been aware of it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like a bunch of my like immediate family, my best friend, we've all incarnated together many times.
And you're all aware of it, or just you?
Just me. Sometimes I'll like kind of drop it in conversation casually, but not everybody around me is like into the woo and the spiritual. And so sometimes they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" And other times they're like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense."
Hmm. Do you feel like this is your mission, that you're doing now? Like, and what is it? Where is it leading? Do you think? Where's your career go after this?
Great question. I wish I knew. I have been asking Spirit for like 6 months, and they're like, "No, you get to move forward with your blinders on because we're not telling you."
Mm,
I do think this is eventually where my full-time life is. Maybe
mm.
not so much in the corporate world. We're just not quite there yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, it totally can. I would just say it's one 18 to another. The more your heart asks, the faster it comes. That's what I found. I found that I was the one holding myself back a lot of times. I mean, not deliberately, but just like, oh, I didn't know I could ask and get that kind of thing. Yeah. Well, it seems like there's a bigger, I don't want to say conspiracy, but it seems like there's a spiritual agenda going on, like, of which Michael will be a part of. Have you been witness to anything like that?
Um, yes and no. I guess I sort of see it as like an expression within the spiritual community. Like there's sort of undercurrents of like disagreement about what is or is not or what will be. And depending on like how granular you get, some people can have some very heated disagreements, especially about spiritual space. But the further out you go, it feels like the kind of same end game. Um, and I say this as like a perspective of like we are all one, like oneness, that kind of stuff. And so it's just us having different experiences of ourselves. And so that's probably a very long answer as a way to say yes, but I don't think it's anything nefarious or it just is different experiences.
Mm. Well, it feels like, I don't know. It feels like it's a certain turn for Earth. Have you gotten that type of signal that we are on a, because the astrology, let's put it this way, the astrology says this is a magnificent moment where humans really wake up for the first time since Atlantis and those times, wake up to our true identity and our true powers, our potential as creators. And so, I'm just wondering if it, becomes a thing or if it's just, Sunday school, you know, which it could be.
I don't think it's Sunday school. I think it'll be more innate than that.
Hmm.
But a lot of people have a lot of reckoning to do, I think, just even internally with themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Have you seen any of your visions, like a new type of human coming to Earth? Human design has a prediction from Ra, its creator, that there's a new kind of a new type, a new genetic type, if you will, called the Raves. They come apparently next year.
Oh, I have not heard or seen this. This is like a new rabbit hole I'm gonna have to go dive down. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, I check out Human Design. It's interesting, and Ra, and the designer. There's a lot of stuff coming out like that, and it makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, but also it's based on a system, Human Design, which is so solid. Like if you have, I have barely had any time to get into Human Design myself, but every time I dive into it, it's incredibly accurate about me. So it makes me go, okay, what else did this guy say? Kind of thing. Yeah, it seems like we're in a very important time, but that could just be my Leo rising. I
I
don't know
love
if I have
that.
any right? I make things important they shouldn't be. But I mean, it seems like even a person like yourself going around the country and reading, with dowsing rods. I mean, that's not your average day on Earth.
No, and it's completely strange, but I'm loving every moment of it. It's quite fun. So,
Oh yeah, totally. And people love it, right? What do you find?
yeah.
What do you find the responses to different generations? Like, uh, I imagine you're a millennial, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, so how does your generation
Yes. Yeah.
respond to this? What we used to call woo woo.
I think uh, maybe this is just me and having bias because of where I'm at in life, but it feels like people tend to wake up in their lives maybe around their 30s
Mm,
or so. So there's a lot of older generations that like if you're into it, you're into it, and if you're not, you're far away from it. But it like people can have spiritual awakenings at any time, but it seems like the millennials especially are going through it in mass
mm,
right now. Um, I think because of social media, a lot of the younger generations are seeing this as well, but they're at a kind of a different life stage development point, and so it's not kind of the prevalent forefront of their lives like maybe it is for me, but I'm speaking for myself, so I don't know if that.
Well, I mean, I was in the same path. It was irrelevant to me and not many other people. But the difference now is that the younger generation, millennials, they seem to be they embrace what I was just trying to get across, without having a tomato thrown at me on stage. Like I was concerned, it was risky. And now we see the whole generation that knows their astrology, they know their rising sign, things like that. Do you find that people genuinely have these beliefs when you come upon them, or is it something that you are yourself a converter?
I'd say a little bit of both. Like, I don't feel so weird saying, yeah, I'm a Taurus, like out in public anymore, like I might have maybe even 10
Hmm.
years ago. But yeah, people, they're aware. We're
Hmm.
coming.
And so you don't have a glimpse of where this is heading for you. Do you have a sense?
No, I think this will probably be it. I think the dowsing rod content will probably evolve. Like, I don't necessarily need them all the time anymore to get information, so maybe there's some change there. Um, I think I don't know. I have this sense like of I need to just go create everything. And so I've had these like urges to go paint, even though I do not have like the skills to be
Okay.
masterful at that. So it feels like there's something else creative coming as part of this. I just don't know what it is
Mm,
yet. What it is yet.
yeah, it makes total sense. I went through that too at some point
Yeah.
where I'm feeling the pull to create too, by the way, lately. Yeah, yeah,
Are you?
which is, new, not new. It was a phase I went through at one point where I was just creating everything, but I've been pulled into it. Like, just want to be away making pretty stuff. I don't think that's a tourist thing. Yeah, we don't think so. Yeah, interesting. That's fascinating. So, moving forward in this next year, is there anything that you have come across that we should know about, like something that you're just telling everyone because it came across your rods and people need to know?
I think the thing that Spirit keeps reiterating to me all the time is just everything's going to be
Really?
okay.
Okay.
Like, zoom out, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Have you worked with Ascended Masters yet? Oh, really?
Yes.
Do you know which one you've worked with?
I've worked with Merlin has called himself an ascended master. I've talked with Jesus, Buddha. Um, I'm sure there's been a couple others that I'm not remembering, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. And Merlin, from my understanding, is Saint Germain. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
same. That's cool. I had a feeling I could smell Merlin in there. Um, who seems to be the one responsible for this next era and this next shift? That's the idea. So I was curious if they've been in contact with you. Um, you were at the Monroe Institute. Can you tell us about that? What that is and what you learned there?
Oh my goodness, yes. So the Monroe Institute it was founded by Bob Monroe back in the 70s as part of a study into human
Mm,
consciousness in conjunction with the
mm,
CIA. And so they have this sound technology that they use to basically induce different states of
mm.
meditation. And they found that, like, over the years, when you're doing these meditations, you're getting to the same level and depth of meditation that a Buddhist monk that's been doing it for their whole life can get
Wow.
to. And so you end up getting these like really profound insights into meditation. And I've had some major downloads this last week.
Really, just about meditation at large and how it works.
No, like I was in the meditations getting information from spirit that was just so
Wow,
profound.
interesting. Wow. And is that stuff that is for you personally, or is that stuff for the world for you to teach? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of both. A lot of this, especially for the world, is all about like perspective
Mm,
shifting. Like, I think a lot of folks are really bad at kind of living in the
mm,
gray area. And so trying to make folks aware of that and how you shift and have empathy for folks coming from a different place, it feels really important. But then, like, my own personal profound insights, like, at one point, I was shackled to a um, table and was on an alien spaceship, and I'm not sure if that's spirit trying to tell me like, hey, you were actually abducted by aliens, or if this is some sort of metaphor to how I'm holding myself
mm.
back. It's a
Right.
lot. And I want to say that like meditation is not scary, you're in control
Right.
the whole time, so this was just my kind of experience of it.
Interesting. What advice would you give someone who is curious about trying dowsing themselves? Like a dowsing or a meditation, but they don't know where to start. Like, where does one begin?
I really like frequencies, or I'm gonna butcher this, esophageal frequencies. Is that how
I'm
you
not sure.
say
Say it
that?
again.
So if
Oh, I got you.
solfeggio
Yes, I know. I know.
frequencies.
I actually mispronounced it too. I know you're talking about that. Totally on it. Yeah.
So I would go search like 428 hertz on YouTube and just find a meditation that you like, and that really helps get your brain into that right state of
And what do you
meditation.
do? Do you fight back thoughts? I mean, that's always something that I battle with in meditation. Are we really supposed to clear our mind, or do thoughts flow by? Like, how does it work for you?
For me, I tend to let them come. Sometimes that's where the
Hmm.
insights come from in the information you're trying to get. If it's really bugging you, though, you can like take it in a balloon and let it go, and just say, "Thank you for being here. I don't need you as a thought right now. We can come back later."
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I myself downloaded a system called the Step System, where I was, fed information of how to do stuff for a long time, and it all came together this great, brilliant system. And it's interesting. You just have to have like faith. I've found that you just have to have faith in whatever's coming up and just put it on the table and not argue with it, right? Like to me, just to not argue with whatever comes is probably the best advice.
Absolutely. You don't want to stress yourself out by like trying to say, go away thoughts, I need to be blank. Like that's stressful and a lot.
Yeah, and to not deny. I mean, as far as meditation is concerned, to not resist, to not deny, to just be, right? I mean, that's what I found that's what I found as well. Have you been picking up on? Have you been interacting with other people like yourself yet? I mean, have you had a chance to, and like trade notes and things like that?
I haven't met anybody else doing dowsing rods like face to face yet, but I work with a lot of folks in the spiritual community, like past life regressionists, Akashic record readers, clairvoyants. Trying to think of what
Mhm.
other different types, but researchers, scientists, like you name it. I love talking to everybody about
Mhm.
anything. Astrology, I should say astrology and tarot and divination and all those
Do you feel
things.
it's all the same family, so to speak, of you know, otherworld communication?
Sort of. So I tend to think of it, everything is energy. It's just how you perceive it and how you talk to it. So I don't think any of it's better or worse than the other. It's just how good are you at understanding what is being sent to you.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. Yeah. As I go into different modalities like tarot and things like that, it's just it's like I don't know if I'm projecting my stuff onto it, but it just feels like it's the same thing, different cousin, different point of view, saying similar things from a different with other things included and other things not included. Did dowsing rods begin? If I'm not mistaken, did it begin like to find water? Is that true? Like, yeah, okay, that's the history
Uh,
of it.
there has been a history where like they've found dowsing rods in like cave paintings that are like, years old, like thousands
Wow.
of, up to interpretation if that's what that is. But yeah, water finding is very common. Queen Elizabeth the First used it to find minerals back in England, way back in the 1600s. So it's been around a long time.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah, and they seem to be effective. Um,
Yeah.
when it comes to meditation, I'm gonna go back to meditation because I'm astounded that you keep up with it. It's tough. Like, what a lot of people say they try meditation and it doesn't work. Um, what would you say to that person?
I'd say you have to let go of your expectations of what you think it is. Like,
Mm,
just go do it and then be okay with whatever it is. Part of it, like, people kind of get in their own ways that way. Like, for me, it's like I want to get out of my body and I have this specific expectation of what that is. So I haven't done it because I haven't met that expectation. I very well may have been out of my body, but I don't know because so it's kind of one of those things you have to get out of your own way, myself included, and just allow what comes to
mhm.
come.
Have you ever encountered what we call dark energy or evil energy as it's coined? Yeah. What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. What is that like in your impression? Should someone who's starting this journey be concerned?
No, not at all. As far as being concerned, you are more powerful than anything that
Mm,
comes your way. I actually got woken up one night a few weeks ago because I had something jump on me, and I was like, "What are you doing here? Get off!" So I kicked them off, and they disappeared right away. It was as easy as just saying, "You're not allowed in my space." Like you are so
mm,
powerful. So it's not anything to be concerned about. Yes, it's there, but as long if you don't believe it's there, then it's not because you're more powerful
mm.
than it.
That's interesting. I have a cat that haunts me at night and walks on my bed. It's weird. It's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Very fascinating. Well, I think people are going to be. I love how like down to earth and clear you are about your channel because I think that as being a person who's been on camera for a long time trying to do this, it's like there's a lot of criticism, a lot of hearsay, and you're just like straight, clean, obvious, like things moving or not moving. So I think you're doing a really good service for helping people to come into their awareness of spirit. Um, how can people find you? I mean, do you offer readings to the public?
I do, and I'm actually booked up through the end of 2025 right
Yep.
now. But my website, solarglowmeditations.com. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads. I think that's all of
Wow.
them. If you want to find me on social
Yeah.
media.
Perfect. Well, I think you're doing a great job. And from one step 18 to another, congratulations. I'd love to have you on again sometime. If you come to I'd love if your next turn of a corner of something, an awareness and to talk about and see what we're both seeing, like compare notes, be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Would love
terrific.
that.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for
Until
having
next
me.
time. Wow, that was so down to earth and clear. What a clear insight. It makes me sort of think though with her every time you have someone who is so practical and down to earth like that, and you ask questions like, will the earth end? And they're like, no, not really. Just makes you think, "Well, what am I wasting my time on?" you know, this whole time, like, what am I worried about? Geez, everything's gonna be fine. But fascinating stuff. I wonder how much we're gonna see things like this in the future of just people coming on with their power and coming into it. So I think it's a great thing. And this is ancient old practice too, frankly, the Dell rods. Very cool. Well, friends, we're always a pleasure to be here and to bring the unique insights of the other side to you. We'll be back in another week. And until then, remember, as you're down riding out there, we love you and to live, love, be.